the C++ programming series. So this is the 34th video of the series, and we're going to be talking about function overriding today. In the previous video, as a recap, I would discuss about function overloading and its concepts. What was the benefits of function overloading was the fact that functions can have the same name but different input parameters. So if you change up the input parameters, you would have a concept that is known as function overloading, which wasn't, it's a type of polymorphism, which wasn't that a big feature of the OOP and didn't have any kind of construct of OOPs. And today's video, we will discuss about function overriding, which plays a vital role in inheritance, and it is a basic feature of object-oriented programming. The process here is that a function overriding is a feature that allows us to have a same function in child class, which is already present in the parent class. So initially you have here is like the same name, the member function in the base class will have the same member function in the derived class. So kind of like what function overloading was when you had similar names but different return types. Return types and the input parameters might be same, but the thing that's inside the definition will change. So this is what's function overriding. So a child class inherits the data members and member functions of parent class. So, but when you want to override a functionality in the child class, then you can use function overriding. So this is the concept here, and this is basically the thing that if you create an object, the member function of the derived class is invoked and the function of the base class is ignored. So what I'm going to do over here is first include my handy IOStream. I would encourage you to type along with me as this goes. So let's have all of this written. All right, so we have our basic skeleton created. Now what we're going to do is over here for the main logic, what I'm going to include is a class, and I'm going to class as voice. And this is basically going to have a public section and access specifiers. So what public section will do, void message. So here's our message, and I'm just going to print out some basic words. So I'm going to say, hey there. So this is my message. I'm just basically printing out, and this is my base class. So I would just call this as a base class. Okay, now over here, after this, I'm going to create another class. So this is going to be called Siri. And what this example problem will be about is we're trying to make it match real world scenarios by creating a class, and then we'll be having subclasses of different voice assistants that are dominating in our digital world right now. So Siri is one of them, and that's for sure. Now what I'm going to do after that is I'm going to put the colon operator, and I'm basically inheriting my base class publicly here. So how to do this? I have a video that explains about inheritance, so that you could see a card that is popping in the screen. I would encourage you to watch that first before coming here. So if you know how to do inheritance, so what we learned about inheritance is that we want to inherit it publicly. So we hit we type the public keyword, and then after that we give a space, and then after a space where we're going to name is the voice class. So over here we inherited public. Now after that we give squiggly brackets. So we inherited over here, and now what we're going to do is we're going to give this as public, and also we're going to name this as MSG. We're going to create a member function, and this will also have something, but it won't have the same thing as over here. It won't have hey there. Instead, I would do over here is hey Siri. So it would have hey Siri over here, and I will put an end line over here. So this is basically the concept of function overriding. When you have a function that is already in the derived class, so over here I have one in a derived class. I'll call this derived class 1. So this is my function, and you could see that it's matching this one over here. This is not function overloading where the function used to match, but the return type or there was some variation in the input parameter. Over here, the function declaration is exactly the same, but the definition is a little bit different. So you could see over here the difference between function overloading and function overriding. So now after that, I would create another derived class. So I would create another derived class, and I'll call this as derived class 2, and I will also name this as class, I would say Cortana. So Cortana, and then I would publicly inherit it similarly to what I did to voice. So I would do this, and now I would create a public, and I would call this as void, and sorry, this is capital. I would do void msg message, for message, and then I'm going to put input parameters, and then also I'm going to print out hey Cortana. Okay, so that's my next, now my last derived class. So I'm just creating a lot of derived classes just to give a good example to you guys of how function overriding works. For my third derived class, I'm going to have a class named Alexa, which is publicly going to inherit. So I'm going to say public. You could have a space or anything you want. I would prefer not giving a space right here, but giving a space over here. Voice, and then VOICE, and now we're going to have this double, and then over here we're going to have a private section like always. So we're going to basically try to match it out, colon, and then you have that same message prompt, MSG, and I would give this as something which is, hey Alexa. So I would put an explanation mark over here too, as well as over here. And to this one over here, we'll just have a period. So now the concept here is I'm going to create an object. So I'm going to firstly save my code, and you could see over here I have one base class, I have one derived class, another derived class, and another derived class. So this derived class is Alexa. It has the same member function as this one, and this one has the same as this, and this one has the same as this. So basically they're all the same, but their definition is different. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to apply function overriding here. So we're in our main logic, and I'm going to basically create an object. So my class is voice, so VOICE, and I'm going to create an object of v1. So I'm going to call this v1 dot, and you can see over here one message is activated. So what I'm going here is basically I got an access to this message function, and you're going to see hey there, which is going to be on the screen. So if I save and execute this code, you're going to see hey there on the screen. So you can see there, hey there. But now, what if I want to create another object? So basically, I create another object, like for instance, Siri, and I have a S1. And now I want to have S1.message. Now you can see two functions are activated. Now, why there are two? There's supposed to be one, but you can see here that the compiler isn't confused. It knows that you applied function overriding here. So basically what's happening here is this function is overriding this function, and it will be preferred by the compiler except for that. So you will see hey Siri instead of hey there. So this is a concept what function overriding does. So we're going to see when I do activate it as MSG. So if I write MSG and hit that, you're going to see our hey Siri popping up, and you're going to see on the top your hello there. Let's see. So hey there is on the top, which was the first, and then the second is hey Siri, and it didn't give us hey there as the second time. So now what we're going to do is going to call every one of them. So what we're going to do, we're going to have Cortana being C1, and we're going to have C1.msg. So we're just going to select one, and then we're going to have one more, which is Alexa, and we're going to say A1 and then A1.msg. So you're going to see all of these functions being invoked, and you're going to see them on the terminal screen. So here is a hey there, and then you have hey Siri, then you have hey Cortana, and you have hey Alexa. So all of these voice assistants are working, and now what we could do is let's comment some of them out. Let's, for instance, comment, I would comment this one out. So I would comment this one out, and I would comment these two out too. And I just want to show you one thing. So the thing is, if I comment those out and now run it, you would see that Siri S1 and then S1.msg. So you would see the message which is over here was going to be displayed except for this one, which is disallowed now. It's overridden through this. So what we do is execute, compile, and run. You'll see hey Siri right here. Now, instead of invoking my function for calling it to Siri, I want my base class member function to be activated. So how am I going to do that? This is my derived class here in my body. So what I do is, this is the hey Siri. So instead of writing this, I want this to be appearing. Hey there. So how I'm going to do this is basically the function by default is going to invoke the derived function, right? It's going to invoke the derived function instead of the base class function. That's what's called function overriding. But we want that base class member function, which is this one, to appear. So for that purpose, what we do is we delete this part. And inside over here, I'm just going to call my base class. So I'm going to do voice, which was the name of my base class over here. And now I'm going to use the two colons. This is called the scope resolution operator. And now I'm going to type MST. So when I'm going to type MS, now you can see the compiler detects it. So I just hit the semicolon, save it, and now go back in my main logic, and you would see instead of printing Siri out, you would see hey there now instead of hey Siri. So it's just going to invoke it. It's going to go over here and it's going to print this out. So execute, compile, and run. And hey there's over here. So that was it with this video. I hope you understood the concept of function overriding with this brilliant example. And also, don't forget to subscribe to the channel. This will motivate me to make more videos for you guys. And I have plans to make a lot of videos to teach you all. So stick around. See you in the next video. Peace out.